get some games that find a way to perfectly mix together multiple genres, creating a unique, memorable experience. Some examples that I've platinumed outside of this channel include Dragon Quest Builders, a JRPG Minecraft city builder, or Persona, a sim-style psychological JRPG adventure game. When games manage to pull off lofty ambitions and multiple genres, it leaves you feeling like you'll never experience a game like that again. And that's where the platinum for today comes in, Shadow Warrior 2. This will be a concise overview of the game as well as the steps required to platinum it. I finished the first one and it was one of my favourite platinums to get, a notoriously difficult one too. It was a simple, modernised, old school boomer shooter. It was done incredibly well. You had fast action combat, witty character lines, and a grounded yet completely nuts story involving demons, mercenaries and futuristic corporations. Then Shadow Warrior 2, a confused game attempting a bit too much with a bit too little supporting it. We'll get to that later though. Let's start, with the start.
First playthrough.
Now, if you've come from Shadow Warrior 1, destroy any expectations because this game is not the same beast. The start eludes you into thinking it's the same story-based shooter. The location is somewhat similar, it involves your car again, somewhat similar. You have the same sword and similar enemies, but you realise quickly that this game is not at all the same. The start was incredibly awkward for me because of this, when items started dropping, meaningless medallions and random charms. I simply got this icky feeling that a game I enjoyed had been injected with RPG bloat. And don't get me wrong, I love RPGs. But at what point do we realise that we're just tainting every genre with extra features that are not needed? Can we not just have the lovable joy of a simple, well-made, fast-paced shooter with epic music? No, we can't because it doesn't have loot and it doesn't have skill points. So, after the confusing intro mission making you think it's the same game before ripping the curtain away, you'll come across the main hub of the game. The hub consists of a far too large of an area for around 3 relevant NPCs, 2 of which are shops you'll barely use, and 1 of which is a smithy who, let's say disappears at a certain point. You'll return to the hub after missions to hand in quests and use a mission select screen to teleport to future missions. Thus, we have the gameplay loop. Get mission from hub, basic conversation, teleport to mission, /shoot and loot, teleport back, done. Normally, home sweet home implies you actually enjoy being there. In this game, I'd rather be neck deep in spider demon guts than suffer a loading screen just to walk to a man to then suffer another loading screen. Anyway, there you get the general gist of the game. The game expands and grows as you play, you get more guns, though it does take a while and can feel quite slow to progress around the start of the game. You get skill points that just enhance elements of the game already present, such as getting more health, more sword damage or more chi, the game's resource for magic. The guns are well designed and unique with the limited amount there is. You can further enhance them with gems too, which can change elemental typing on the weapon or add some interesting effects, such as turning a gun into a turret. This is the only well done RPG feature that actually adds to the game in my opinion. Each enemy can have randomly assigned elemental resistances and you need to adapt on the fly with a varying arsenal of weapons to conquer them. It's fun. It adds a unique little twist on the rampant combat. Though in later difficulties this becomes obsolete as more enemies resist everything, meaning the sword becomes the weapon of choice. Sadly, it is also limited by the developer's choices because certain gems can only be on certain weapons. Why can't I turn my sword into a turret and have it follow me? Why can't I add rapid fire to my pistols? If you're going to make your game an RPG, and in this case a really wacky out of this world drug-addled dream of one, then why not just allow me to roleplay no matter how wacky it gets? This is why Elder Scrolls is timeless. It gives you a world and you're allowed to explore it, save it, or even break it. I mean, look what people have done in Oblivion.
Ring the ring, would you look at that? We only have about 10% chameleon, so we're going to need to do this exploit 9 more times to get to 100%. And when we get to 100%, we're completely invisible. And I mean completely. Like, no one's going to even know what we're doing. No one's going to see where we are. You can attack anyone you want and they won't know it's you. You can steal whatever you want. You can just kill whoever you want.
Shadow Warrior 2 gives you a universe that's less grounded than the first due to this wacky nature of the world and characters. Instead of being an Asian American man slicing his way through a demon-infested world, you feel like a very Deadpool-esque character in this surreal, non-existent, pseudo-real-life location, with larger-than-life characters which, whilst sometimes funny, ruin any attempt at feeling real. Some may not care about this, especially if Shadow Warrior 2 is your start to the series, but from Shadow Warrior 1 it does feel awkward. Then you have the samey open world locations just to perpetuate that RNG loot machine, mundane side missions, and a bare bones story. It's also very easy until you hit one of the very few difficulty spikes, usually reserved to optional bounties, and usually because you don't have weapons yet that can tackle them. Now, it may sound like I'm hating the game, and I'm not. I'm just being extremely critical, especially when it diverted from what made the first one special. Do I like Shadow Warrior 2? Yes, I do. But again, we will get to that. If you think this is critical, you should see what happens if I review a game I think is bad. Your first playthrough will be spent doing whatever you want, however you please. There is nothing you need to worry about, just play the game and enjoy. You could potentially save time towards the platinum by looking for secrets, but I did not, and it will be easier if you do that when you know more about the game anyway. The game will be a relaxing romp of discovering new weapons and laughing at the jokes here and there.
Struggle 1. No pain, no gain.
Control on your way down. There you go. Come on, jump. Come on. Almost.
Now the first playthrough is done, the struggle starts. The struggle isn't actually beating the game on the hardest difficulty though. No pain, no gain. That's actually easy. You can use New Game Plus to keep everything and just carry on with fractionally stronger enemies. It's the secrets that you now need to start to find that will cause you pure agony. You need to find 50 secrets. Now, I had a whopping 4 when I started this, because no trophy guide explicitly said to look for them. As it turns out, every map and story mission has secrets tucked away. There is a maximum of around 75, you need 50, they do not stack. So, when starting the second playthrough, I thought, hey, this can't be too bad, right? Just get a guide, run through the maps, no issue. No. Some story missions have secrets that will be locked out if you don't get them, and every side mission / map is slightly randomized, meaning a secret might not even be there. Worse yet, there is no actual map to look at in game, just the mini-map. This means that when you go through a guide, of which there are a few with varying secrets, you have to squint your eyes straining at the minimap and running around for hours upon hours looking for similar areas to what you have on your minimap. Imagine having to find a mate's house and all you get is a zoomed in picture of his garden bush from Google Maps and all you've got is a zoomed in GPS. Despite this, you will eventually get it done and then it's
Struggle 2.
First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
oh yes, now the trophy for 1 billion Zenny, the in-game currency. At this point you should have around 20 to 30%, leaving a vast amount left to get. In reality this is pretty simple. Go up to the highest difficulty you have unlocked, equip any player charms, medals, whatever they're bloody called, just shove your gimme money Hello Kitty badges on, and then do every single bounty again. You should have already done them prior, if not you'll get some new guns and some new skills. If you run out of bounties, you do side missions and main missions. It will take a few playthroughs doing this to get the required money, but you'll get there. It's also good to do side missions and main missions because you acquire some orbs, which is your final hurdle towards the platinum. You can also choose to mop up some killing related trophies here. I personally was missing kills using the Vanish ability and Grip of Darkness. Once you get that trophy money, stop what you're doing, strap in, get a nice Disney Plus subscription, and prepare to watch the entirety of that one show you've been pushing off that every single person that you've ever met has implored you to watch, but you don't have the time for it because you act like you're busy, but actually you just spent hundreds of hours getting a shiny blue digital badge for a random game that no one plays. Anyway.
Struggle free. Orbs of Masamune.
Failed to take into account my mirror balls. Look at them shine. Look at them shine. Look at them shine. Look at them shine. Oh, look at them shining. Oh, it's cold.
This will be quick. Well, quick for me to explain, not for you to get the trophy. It will be around 10 hours of a very repetitive and difficult task. You will go to the Trial of Embedding, you will start it, you will find an island, and you will spin around using the Vortex Sword move where you push left on the left stick and hit L2. At the same time you charge it up and then you let it go. You use your Fury ability afterwards, you go buck wild, and you hope you don't step in lava and waste time. Most guides say to repeat this process until you get the trophy. But I have more to add to this. Make sure you spend your orbs to upgrade this sword, the Nobitsure Kage, I believe it's called. You can use your orbs to up the damage, add a 4th charm to upgrade it and make this process easier. Eventually you'll be able to easily do the trials on a higher intensity, which increases loot and orbs gained. I suggest sticking at intensity 2 or 3 and it will cut down the process massively. You'll get 32 orbs per run. You need 10,000. The math isn't good. Don't do it. Just don't. Just log into Disney Plus. Get on with it. Simpsons is on season 100? You'll be fine, alright? Just don't worry. Certain issues make this a pain. Sometimes you'll stop attacking for no reason. Sometimes you'll use the Fury power and then just die anyway. Sometimes enemies will just let her rip and you'll turn into a human Beyblade. And most annoyingly, for some reason, there are times where your special sword skill just doesn't activate. It's a huge problem because at this point, damage is survivability. If you stop attacking, you die. And then you've wasted 2 minutes of... 2 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but when you got to do that 2 minutes, literally, I think something like 300 times, that you don't want to lose them. You don't. But with hard work and perseverance, you'll get that platinum trophy. It won't feel as sweet because you won't be able to feel your wrists anymore, but you'll have it.
The verdict.
I got the Platinum Trophy in 43 hours when it is judged as being a 50-hour game, and it has a rarity of 0.5%. Overall, the game is really good fun, more so with friends, but obviously I don't have any because I make them Platinum games if we play something together, and why would they do that? The game does a fine enough job of merging Diablo with fast-paced boomer shooter. The merging of genres wasn't particularly needed, and it probably detracts from what could have been a much more refined experience, but for those looking for this type of loot and shoot, it may just hit the spot. The humour is intelligent at times, albeit generally quite shallow. The guns are unique and offer fun but repetitive fast combat. The game even offers further depth by allowing melee gameplay, which ultimately does end up being the essential way to play in later difficulties. The world starts off seeming fairly unique, though you do start to realise it's quite basic and small with a lot of repetition in levels. The game isn't bad by any means, but its ambition to merge genres does leave it exceeding in no areas. Despite this, it is a platinum I'm happy to have, and I look forward to Shadow Warrior 3 one day. If you asked me if I had more fun with this game or if I had more fun with Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3, I would actually probably say this game. The game itself is without a doubt worth playing. It's fun, it's fast paced, it will make you chuckle, but the platinum is much less worth it. If you're looking to play it, this game gets my rating of Make Me. However, if you like platinums, this gets my rating of Break Me. It's easy, tedious, and a relentless grind. It leaves little food for thought, and no part stands out as particularly memorable. Thank you for watching. This is a shorter video, less of a documentary as usual and more of a simple overview of if this platinum is for you or not. If you liked it, if you want more, or just have some opinion on what content you'd like, just hit me up in those comments. I'd really appreciate the feedback. Just don't ask me to review a game I dislike because you aren't ready for that. Now catch you later, perfectionists.
Cutting up thugs with their faces so ugly, stomping on demons who aren't all that snuggly, shooting at nightmares that fly with their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.